Means we are on the couch. This is our therapy show, which we have every Mondays here on your number one talk station. We get to attend to all things relationships. We get to attend to all things that are going wrong in relationships and try to figure out with our expert and our coach how to right them. And sometimes what we do on the show is we give you kind of like tips going ahead, right? Before you even get to the stage where there's a problem in the relationship, we try to guide you as to what you need to do and what you do not need to do. Sort of what we're going to be harping on today on the show. And my guest is here with me as always, Coach Mayzy. Good evening. How are you doing, boss?
Good evening. I'm very fine and well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm good. Thank you so much. Coach Mayzy wears a lot of hats, all of them relationship-minded. He's also a mental health awareness advocate. And as much as possible, he teaches and tries to teach people as far as relationships are concerned, pre-relationship, post-relationship, what to do. Correct me if I'm wrong, Coach M, you're also an author, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
4 books published currently.
4 books. And all on this man and woman matter, ba?
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask, Coach M, why is it so important to you that we get it right when it comes to relationships?
Wow, that's a big one. That's my full mission statement.
I know, that's why. Because we're always here on Monday and we're always talking relationships. So I've had someone write in and say, see this relationship matter, leave it. But no, we need to explain sometimes why we do this.
So very great question there. I'm this passionate about it because every other thing in life boils down to the level of parenting that an individual, experiences. All right. So I'm saying everything boils down to the home at the end of the day. Political systems, economic systems, security, whatever it is, boils down to the quality of the family system. That is why I'm this passionate about it.
Okay.
Because if we get the family system right, we're getting the full society right.
Right. And for families to come about, it starts with I like you, you like me.
I like you.
How far? Can we run this? Okay. All right. Yeah. I just thought that we provide a little clarity on that and why also this is something that is very important to me. So Mondays we do strictly relationship, man and woman, and then of course if you're an ardent follower and listener of the show, you know that we talk all things family on Thursdays. But Coach M is here today. And Coach, before you came on, I dropped a statement and I've asked people to let me know if it's a myth for them or a fact. We like to do this as a preamble to the conversation of the day. So I started by defining commitment. Again, something that I've come to realize in the times that we are in is people have different definitions for different things. And so going by what it was known as before other definitions started to come in, commitment, as I described it, is a conscious decision to prioritize a partner and your relationship with that partner's future, irrespective of what may come, difficulties, good times, and all of that. And of course, in doing that, you will promise to support each other, you will maintain respect, you'll walk towards hopefully not just individual but joint goals, and all of these things come together. But the statement for today that we want to break down in the next 5 minutes as our preamble to the conversation is commitment is boring. I've heard people say that. Why are you laughing? So I threw the question out to people, and I honestly want to hear people's opinion on this thing. I've also come to understand that sometimes when we're having these conversations, people are a bit shy to put out their perspective. And I've said it before that it's good to hear different sides of a story, because in everything we hear, there's a little bit of something you can take from it. There's a learning, something you may be able to learn from it as to, oh, okay, this is why you do it the way you do it. And in learning, sometimes it's, okay, I need to unlearn and relearn on my end based on what you said. And sometimes it is, oh, okay, this is why you think the way you do it. Let's take a step back and think why you think this thing. So not to dismiss anybody's opinion, not to beat down on anybody's opinion. We do the myth or fact segment to get different thoughts on it, and then we know how to proceed. So commitment is boring is a statement that we're looking at, myth or fact. Let's quickly open up the phone lines, get people to talk about it. I've already given people a teaser as to what we are discussing today. It is the questions you must ask before you commit. So you understand the correlation, like we always like to do. So 07009510000 or 0809597486 if you want to jump in on it. On WhatsApp, we're at 0809-993-0137. And we're also live on Facebook and YouTube. You want to go to Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja on Facebook or YouTube, or just search Nigeria Info Abuja and we'll pop up there. You can also jump in on the conversation there. Is commitment boring? Is that a myth? Is that a fact? Let's take some calls. Hello? Oh, was that the network or were you shy? Call me back, will you? So while you're calling back, let me again reintroduce what we're talking about today for the people who are just joining in. There was a post I saw up on Facebook, and I shared it with you, Coach M. This couple who were just 2 weeks shy of saying I do, and it will appear that the groom-to-be went and made a comment. I'm not sure where he made the comment, but he made a comment saying that he doesn't see himself as a one-woman man. And to be honest, I don't think that's a bad thing to say. I don't know. It depends. People have their different ways about doing things. People have different beliefs about doing things. The problem, I think, with that statement that brother made is that this is somebody who is about to tie the knot to one woman in 2 weeks' time. And so his bride-to-be got wind of it. And she said, sayonara, peace out. Pum, she literally disappeared. Like, she didn't even give him the opportunity to talk about it. And, Baba is going crazy saying, oh, my wife, oh, this. And he's trying to get her back. I understood that he tried as much as possible to get her back. And so people were commenting on the situation, some in support of her and some not in support of her. And the thing that struck me is, how is this something that is coming up 2 weeks before the wedding? Isn't this something that should have come up in conversation much earlier? This is something that she should have known about her man, right? Or this is something that he should have shared with his woman. So tonight we are talking about the conversations that you must have if you decide to commit. And again, we go back to the definition of commitment according to the dictionary. As far as relationships are concerned, you have decided to do this thing with this person, right? And so you're giving it your all, no matter what happens. That is the definition of commitment. And so when you want to do this thing, sometimes it's very okay that people are not ready. People are not ready they're not at that point in their life where they're willing to do this. But sometimes people say, oh, I want to do this. And then they realize, like brother here, 2 weeks before the wedding, that he's not a one-woman man. And sister realizes that this is the man she's about to marry and she can't deal with it. So I don't see the phone lines ringing. So let's just get to it. Start with you, Coach, on commitment. I know you are the expert. I don't know whether I should even allow you to answer that question. I don't even know if I should allow you to answer that question. So how about we leave it till the end?
That's fine.
Okay.
I was about to suggest that.
And I have a caller. Let's see. Maybe I can get a thought on it. Hello. Hello, good evening. Oh, please be there. Hello. Okay, call me back. It seems to be a network issue. All right, so Coach and I have agreed that until we hear from you people, we will not address that statement. So let's get to the conversation at hand straight away. All right, so must have conversation. First of all, what were your thoughts when you saw that story, Coach? And how does it tie into our conversation this evening?
Yeah, I felt concerned for the parties involved. 2 weeks to saying I do, and anything that threatens, that union, it's a very big deal, and it's capable of a lot of emotional destabilization and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel for the parties involved. But I also have questions. I always
You
have
always
questions.
have questions. It's okay. Who will answer them now is the problem.
Let's just throw them up there first.
Okay, let's do that.
How long had they been in a relationship before deciding to get married? How well had they known themselves? What were they doing in the relationship all the while? Did they have time to have conversations? Why is she just finding this out? Why is this strange to her? Because somehow I believe that your man must have been giving off some kind of vibe about what he really represents and what he really wants. So why is this a sudden revelation? And then why is her choice of response to just disappear? But of course, I have been in this space. I have some possible reasons why she may have taken that line of action. I tell people that when your values are clear, your decision making is very easy. There are certain things you're not confused about. It could be something like that. It could also be the offshoot of, there could be a trauma somewhere. Maybe she's seen something like this before. Maybe it's happened in the family. Maybe the mom, dad, maybe a sibling, maybe herself too, right? So it struck such a sharp chord in her heart that there was no looking back, and she made the move immediately. It was a very decisive one. There was no confusion there.
Of course.
All right. So you would want to really dig to find out what powered that level of clarity and decision. For that, I commend her. It's good to know exactly what you want and what you don't want, right? So I commend that level of clarity and decision making. Whatever it was that have inspired it is a conversation for another day. But it is very important that as a human being, you know what you stand for and what you don't stand for. That fundamentally, that is very, very key. All right. But I think it shows that perhaps there was some gap in their conversations and in their communication with one another. Either they were not talking about what they should really talk about, or somebody was lying to the other, and then it got revealed somehow. So that's what I'll just say in opening.
Okay. All right. So I was going through some of the comments on social media. There was one particular one that stood out, and I perhaps we should get to that later. But it just struck me that there's a lot of educating, I think, that we need to do to the current crop of people growing up or coming up when it comes to relationships and what's key in relationships. Was she right to not bring it up in conversation with the man? I'm not sure. As a matter of fact, let me say it the way she did it, because she was really, really cold. You're commending her, maybe that level of self-awareness or something. Like you said, whatever triggered it, only God knows where it came from. But as the story has it, like I said, he commented. So this is not something that he said, because she sent him a thumbs up emoji in response. Sent him a thumbs up emoji, went to the gym, And from there on, she's moving on. She's moving on with her life. She's attending what needs to be attended to, probably going to go and make her money, you know, and all of that. And it was the sister who was putting out the story on social media.
Let me come into the story. You know, there was something I just kept saying.
Okay.
It was also possible that there had been a build-up of issues, right? There could be other factors that have contributed, and she's waiting for that final confirmation.
Judging from her reaction, that is. You are saying that it can't have just been this one thing.
So exactly, you know, for her to not even bring it up in a conversation. There's a possibility that, you know, there are underlying issues that, of course, we're not privy to because we're not speaking with her, you know, but this one was just like the crown on it, or, you know, and they're like, she was like, you know what, this is all I need. Okay, thank you. My decision is made.
Okay.
You know, that kind of thing. So that's a possibility also, yeah.
So she wasn't crying, or if she was crying, perhaps she put on her boss face in front of people. She wasn't, you know, she moved, right? Yeah. And a particular comment on social media was saying that her reaction was childish. Okay. Of course, in response to the fact that she didn't bring it up in conversation. But you've provided some sort of context to that, and to an extent, I can maybe see that as being the reason why. I don't want to believe that this was a one-off thing, because if it was a one-off thing, I would honestly be like, talk to him.
You get it.
Why did he say this? Why did he put this out where he put it out? You know, so maybe it would be easier for me to swallow if I didn't see it as a one-off thing, because were you making that comment on social media for clouds? Can we discuss this cloud? Can we discuss this cloud you are looking for that will make you go and say this thing, knowing that you are supposed to marry me in 2 weeks? You know, it's something that I think should have come up in conversation. But anyway, I think in relation to our topic today, there are conversations that need to be had way before people get to this point, or get to that point where you're talking marriage. So let's break it down. Coach M is here. He's the expert, and I will allow him and break it down for us, because I think sometimes for a lot of us these days, it's a quick thing. You know, the relationship is microwave oven, you know, just put it inside, 2 minutes, everything done. And then you bring it out and you realize that the top is solid, the middle is watery, and then the bottom is even possibly burned, you know, so... So you want to be able to have a relationship that is cooked right through from top to bottom, or you know, you see prospects in this person that allows you to feel like, okay, if I balance on top of this thing, one leg will not break, you know. And we need to be able to have those conversations before we get to the point of commitment. Now, can you know everything there is to know before you commit to somebody? I don't think so. But at least there are some questions that we need to ask. So, Coach M, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you very much. I like this floor very much. So, you know, the first thing I like to let people know is that the world has a very skewed definition and idea of the word dating. And how you define something determines how you relate with it, and determines the impact it has on you. All right. So when you hear dating in the secular system, you know, what it entails is these people say they're in a relationship and are romantically involved. Emphasis, are sexually involved many times, right? And I've spoken with several people, either in a one-on-one or a group session where I do a random survey, you know, and it's a general perception. Somebody tells you I'm dating this person, they expect you to understand that we're sleeping together, you know. In the real sense of the word, I tell people all the time, dating is not a relationship. Dating is pre-relationship, is relationship qualifier. Dating is relationship selection mode. Dating helps you know whether or not this person is worthy of being in a romantic or marital relationship with you. That's what dating should be. All right. So with that understanding, what really should go on when someone says, I am dating this person, is that I am considering this person for a long term relationship, but I want to find out first if they are worth it. I want to find out first. So we're talking, we're hanging out, we're doing all of those things, but I'm not committing my emotions to you just yet. I'm not committing my body to you just yet. I'm not committing my resources to you just yet. I'm not in love with you.
Resources is important, sir. Please say resources
yeah.
again for the people in the back and define resources.
Yeah. So I said, I'm not committing my resources to you just yet. And by that, I mean all of my time, my money, my maybe other physical assets, but most importantly, time and money. Time and money, of course, and then the body, of course.
Okay.
So I'm not doing all of that just yet. Why? Because this is pre-qualification. Would you be worthy of this journey with me? If you wouldn't, then bye. It's not a quarrel, it's not a problem, but we're just not aligning. So I would find somebody else. That is what dating is.
Okay.
It's not a relationship in itself.
Okay. I need to stop you there, Coach, because we need to go on a quick commercial. But when we come back, sir, you will sit down, you will balance very well on this table again, because it's like you are trying to break it. You want to break this table. Let's come back after this break.
Yours, a party that never stops.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Nwachukwu. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
Connection established.
Hi everyone, my name is Swat. That's the name my father gave me, but you can always call me Her Vocal Majesty. I'm the host of The Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info. It takes place every weekday, noon to 3 p.m., where we get to have all the lovely contemporary conversations. If your days are normally long and gloomy, well, not anymore, because I'm here to make it all bright and sunny for you. So join me. It's an invitation. You don't want to miss out.
p.m. asking the question, are you truly ready to commit? And Coach M is delivering some hot takes on this, starting from what it really means from the very beginning. So these days we hear things like talking stage, and okay, I think that's about the only one that I know. If there's any other one, I'm sure I don't know it, because I only know two things. I know of dating and I know of courtship. And I actually was of the opinion that they are both things that you do to somebody that you're in a relationship with. But Coach is saying dating is pre-relationship. Let him get back to that.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, I can tell that was a shocker for a number of persons,
myself included.
If the goal is to get things right in the relationship, then it's good to define certain concepts properly.
Okay.
So that's why I'm bringing that dimension, because you see what happens is that because they have subconsciously permitted themselves to get sexually active during dating, right? It now begins to affect decision making, right? It now begins to becloud sound judgment. You see, when you get sexually involved, your hormones begin to take a hold of you and begin to present to you pleasant experiences that could be really sweet and cool, that makes you think that I have transited the stage of inquiry to assurance. Meanwhile, you still don't know anything about this person with whom you're sleeping with and saying my love, and saying my soulmate, and saying all of these nice and beautiful things. You have you bypassed the stage of inquiry and information gathering straight into confirmation. And that is why, more often than not, when the rubber hits the road, there's always problems.
Okay.
You start finding things out later. You feel like you're already too necking deep that you can't, make a reversal and things like that. All right. So it's important people understand that at the beginning, it's a case of, do I want to be in a relationship with this person? Does this person qualify? Let me use the example of a recruitment exercise by an office. All right. An organization wants to recruit for the role of a HR director or manager, right?
Yeah.
Now, the organization who's trying to recruit, they know exactly what their bottom line is. They know what their goals, what their vision for the organization is. They know the kind of skill set they are requiring. They know the kind of experience they are requiring. With all of that in mind, they put out an ad and say, if you are interested, submit your application. Dating for that organization that is trying to recruit is that all of these CVs have come in now, and we are interacting with the CVs, finding out who is the best fit.
So, for example, Somi, I want to date to find out who is the right fit. So, the initial interview stages, I go, I rather they come and I ask questions. You're saying this is what we liken to dating.
Exactly.
So, is this where the tough questions are asked?
Yeah, that's where the questions start being asked, because these conversations continue all the way.
Okay.
But you start having them, in that inquiry stage. Now, the truth is, there are some people that from the first outing with them, you already know that this one is cancelled, no chance, right? Especially when you already know what you want. So let me use the example of the organization recruiting. Because they have certain standards, there's how somebody will send you a CV. You will not even bother opening it. When you see that CV, you say, this one is not serious. You just -1. Or people who use softwares to sieve out some of these CVs. Once you don't meet certain, criteria, it's not even going to be considered. You see, it's very easy, and I tell people this, it's very easy to know the kind of people you should not get married to. First things first. Before you know the one you should marry, it is first very easy to know the kind of people you shouldn't get married to. If there's a condition there, if there's a proper sense of self-awareness. So the same thing goes with that organization. Finally, they need just one person, but they narrow down to 5 candidates. And they start interviewing. They start having back and forth. They have the first interview. They have the second interview. They narrow down to 3 people. They have further interviews. You meet with senior management. You meet with managing director. What is happening? They are trying to sieve out the best fit.
And
they are
all
not
of
in
this
a relationship
And all of this is in the dating.
This is dating. You have not started relationship.
I have a question, sir. Who is the MD CEO in this process now? With the person that I'm dating? Who is the MD CEO for me?
You the person who's considering someone for a relationship.
I'm the MD CEO.
You're the MD. You're the one recruiting, whether male or female.
Okay, I thought it's the HR first, so they will go through the before they now get to the orga at the top. So if I'm the one conducting the interview at the early stages, who then is the MD CEO?
No. So ultimately, for a relationship, of course, in a relationship, you don't necessarily need to have all of those stages.
Oh,
but the point is, you are the recruiter.
Okay.
You are the recruiter.
Right.
You are the one who is checking out this person for a purpose, for a role. Do you get it?
Yes, I do.
Now, it is not yet a relationship until after having gone through all of those checks, you find the one that is best fit and you give the person an employment letter. That is where your relationship with this person starts.
I see.
And that relationship has very clearly articulated deliverables and expectations, both from the company and from the employee.
Your how do they call it now? Your KPIs, your KPIs, your roles and responsibilities, your job description. Coach, I wanted to introduce you. Gbenga Boyega is here. He's the guy that makes the magic happen so that we can see you. And I think the conversation caught his interest because he entered the studio at first shaking his head and he's now here nodding his head. I don't know whether he... It's like at first he was like, No, this table, you cannot break it. Have you going?
There's nobody that I didn't shock. The definition shocked everybody, and I had to come in. So I know we are kind of people who like naming things. So growing up, we've always heard, dating, then relationship, then courtship, then marriage. Then we just name all the levels. And personally, this is just unpopular opinion. I am of the opinion that all these names still involves a man and a woman, or two people coming together, regardless of the level. Now, when you tell me dating is all of these, so what is friendship?
Excellent.
That's my question. What is friendship? Because again, I'm also of the belief that you should go into a relationship with someone who is your friend. So that friendship foundation is already in your words now, dating, right? So are you trying to say friendship can be dating if you are saying more frequent with someone?
Very beautiful question. So let me start like this. I gave this illustration assuming that there is no background of friendship necessarily.
Okay.
Just meeting random people. You meet in a party, you meet somewhere in a mixer event, But now this is where friendship comes in. You are friends with as many people as possible. You're going to get married to one person. Now, in your general friendship with these people, you're already interacting with them, finding out who or not you can align with. Let me tell you, it happens subconsciously. Once you are of age for marriage, everybody listening to me now should confirm or deny this. Once you are of age for marriage, the moment a possible candidate shows up, you are already evaluating in your head. See this guy, you are already checking them out. As a guy too, you're already checking the girl out. Whether you people have said hi or not, whether you have even connected, so long as you see someone who catches your fancy or your attention, subconsciously you're already checking this person out. You see? So if you're already friends, the fact that you are now thinking marriage, you are checking out that friend already. So if they have passed all of those tests, right?
The subconscious ones that you did not know you were testing them for.
Because there are a lot of people that are in a relationship, they don't know they are in a relationship.
Exactly.
Oh, a lot of people, that's another one.
Yes, now, a lot of people, they are dating somebody that is not dating them.
Oh, yes, very true. That is a serious one. That one is a situationship and confusionship. So I was saying that when this person is your friend, you already know what their values are. You already know that to a large extent, I can vibe with this person. I'm comfortable around this person. We think alike. We have similar values. Like we can do this thing long term. You already know that. Now, there's no commitment there. So it's not yet a relationship. at the point where both of you now say, okay, you know what, we think we want to take this to the next level, all right? And this is what I tell people. When you say you're getting into a relationship, the goal has to be clear. The goal should be marriage. The goal is not let us see how it goes. Please, see how it goes in friendship and dating. Which is what they were talking stage.
No, but coach, are you saying that outside of marriage, there cannot be other goals for a relationship?
Like what now?
I'm just asking.
Like companionship, partnership.
What kind of no. So
to mention but a few.
I want to be true to my values. Do you understand? My values is to protect the family institution. My values are marriage, upholding marriage, right? I'm not here to help anybody to achieve friends with benefit status. A partnership that is not defined or that is not, the challenge with this is I'm looking at the wholesome development of the family unit, right? So when it's all of these other things, they are very fine names that help people evade and avoid responsibility where it really matters. All right. So we're talking marriage. That's when I'm talking relationship, I'm talking pro-marriage. Do you understand? Now you guys have seen yourselves and decided to take this to the next level because you are thinking, oh, I'm of age. I should be thinking marriage. I should settle down, unquote, now, as they say, right? Anytime from now. So at the point where you people start discussing for marriage, right, you already start asking some more intricate questions that maybe have not come to the fore in the course of your friendship. So for example, I could be friends with you all this while and I really don't know about your background. I don't know about what happens in your home. I don't know your parents. I don't know, I may not know the family dynamics in your house. Now I want to find that out because I'm about to consider joining this family.
Okay.
You see? So I've already started talking about some of the things that you want to know.
let me bring Benga back in on this one. Benga, what it would be a serious question for you that would make you think this person is taking it to the next level for me or with me or wanting to take it to the next level with me?
Well, it might not be a specific question, but any question that borders around my personal development, I already know you're serious. So for example, if you're asking me questions of what I'm doing, what I want to do, what I'm interested in, so it already shows that you're interested in my person, not just what you are seeing in front of you right there at the date night table. In quotes. So I feel like any question that showcases interest in my personality is enough for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was very spot on.
I saw somewhere today, someone said, if I want to date, if you want to get into a relationship with this person, you need to ask them, if we quarrel, is there anybody that I can report you to that you will
that you fear
to
or that you respect?
and they consider that a very important question. Now, there's a reason why I asked Benga and then I brought this one up. Some people will say, they go as far as, is there spiritual problem in your family? Is there history of spiritual problem in your family? Now, these questions...
Even medical issues, history of medical issues too.
So these questions may sound like, in some instances, okay, that's a good question. In some instances, it's like, what is your business with this? So I wanted to present all those questions to you, Coach M, so that when you're saying these things, because to me, what Benga said is a conversation I can have at the dating stage. It's not something that I need to say, okay, I want to get married to you before we have. And there are also people who, from the beginning, from the first time they meet you, are hitting hard, and asking some very tough questions. So I wanted to bring those different array of questions to you so that we clearly define what is
a commitment question.
Yes. A commitment question. What is a commitment question per se?
Okay.
Because I think for some people it's one thing and for some people it's another. Is there like a clear guideline? Like I've gone as far as spiritual problem, mentioned medical problems, talked about personal development.
Okay. Let me give you a general guideline, but then that will now be subjective to your level of awareness and intelligence, right?
Okay.
What is the general guideline? ask about everything of value to you. Do you get it? That's
interesting.
Everything that you consider my life, this is the core of my life. These are the things I believe. Everything like that, ask about it.
Okay.
If your faith is that serious to you, then find out about the person's spirituality. Everything you want to find out about it, find out. That's why I said it will not be subjective. If you know what to ask, what to look for, do you understand?
Yeah.
So faith, for example, family. If you care about family, then you also want to find out about this person's background, what the family is like, what the experience was like for them growing up, what they believe about the role of the husband and the role of the wife, the role of the father and the mother and the children. You see, you want to find that out because for you, you are a family person. You believe in the oneness of the family institution, right? So if that's important to you, you want to ask it. If chastity is important to you, sexual chastity and purity is important to you, you want to ask if this person thinks it is okay to not be sexually involved yet till you're married, or if we can just do anything we want. You see, now, if academic or professional development is important to you, then you want to find out what they think about career, about business, entrepreneurship, and personal development. You get it? If travels are important to you, you want to find out if they're open to travels, right? I know a particular couple, for example, the husband didn't like to travel at all. The wife was a travel freak. These people will go for visa interview. The visa officer is asking the wife questions. The man will stand at the back and say,
Is it like?
The interviewer was confused. I'm telling you.
Like he'll be trying to truncate the process.
He's behind his wife.
Oh,
He's trying
dear.
to spoil it. Oh, yeah. You see, real life, I'm not even kidding right now. Real life, I know these people are talking about. So you want to find out if anything that is important to you, you want to bring it to the table because this is what represents your life.
Excuse,
Do you understand?
Yes,
You
excuse,
want to find out.
Uncle,
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, I think there's a flip side to this as well. Again, personal opinion. There are some people that may not have the correct answer at first. And because of that, you sideline them. So
Excellent question.
probably you're asking personal development, what do you want to do? Which business are you involved in? At that point in that person's life, he's probably not even thinking of business. Maybe you coming into the person's life now opens the door for that insight. But because you are waiting for the person to be all correct on the first date,
All that.
and the person doesn't, this person is not for me.
Did you hear what you said? On the first date.
Oh,
No, so for first date.
So let me. I'm building the question because
Okay.
No, but I understand what you say. I understand it perfectly.
Yeah, specifically, there's one question a lady told me one day, and she was like, "What kind of career do you want to build? Is it 8 to 5, or media or music that will be carrying you to travel up and down?" Because her prejudice was she didn't want to be with someone that is always traveling. So if you have that mindset of wanting to become an artist or a media person, that time is random. At that stage of her life, she feels insecure. Now, if I say, because this person is like this, we are not compatible and I move on, rather than try and have that conversation to say, it's really not that bad to have someone that travels, especially if there is understanding. I'm just trying to say, a lot of times, this foundation can create prejudice at first, and you think this person is not good enough because of the answers you got at first.
Thank you for bringing that dimension, Gwenga. That was really, really wonderful. I was actually going to get there.
Okay.
So this is it. There are many things involved here. One is the physical interaction with words, the conversation.
Body language, yes.
The other thing that is going on here is discernment. You're not only listening. Yeah, you're not only looking and hearing, you are involving your spirit in checking out, receiving the energies, the vibes coming from this person. Not everyone can be very articulate to clear, answer you the way you want. In fact, beware of the over-articulate people. Let me say
They are pretend exactly. Now you're getting my point.
Let me say it up
Those
front.
ones are answering the questions you want to hear.
They are experts.
Exactly.
They are experts in these games. Yeah, those are the players. They know what you want to hear. They
Exactly.
send it to you. Do you understand? So beware of over answer and over confidence and over delivery.
Now, wow. If you answer, you die.
If you don't answer,
That's what I'm telling you. It's not just about the conversation. Many people who know how to give the right answers, but in real life they're just intelligent enough to give you what they know you want to hear.
Okay.
But they don't embody that. So there is discernment that should also be involved, and there is observation. All right? So you're talking with them, you are observing. Don't forget, this thing happens over a while. It's not overnight. It's not just the first date. You're observing them. So the reason you're considering them is because there are already qualities that makes you attracted to them, that says that they are a potential. Do you get it? So you're discussing over time, right? Observing certain things, asking certain things. Do you know that some of these things I'm saying, you don't even need to ask them as direct questions. There are some you will just sit back and observe, and you get your cues already, you get your answers already. There are some that you would present as indirect question. Just look at what we're discussing today. A lady brings it up with her guy to say, see what happened though. This girl just ghosted her man simply because he said he's not a one-woman kind of person. She's bringing it up as gist, and Oga just takes the bait. All these useless girls on these days. I don't even know how like a man, you cannot stop a man. A man can do what he wants to do. The guy just goes,
like RMD just did.
Already.
Yeah, he said,
you see, you are getting your answers. It's left for you to go and say, I want to still continue if you don't believe in that. Or for you to take the cue from the girl that ran away and also run. Or you now have conversations. But my point is, it is not always a formal conversation. What is your dream for tomorrow? It's as for gisting, as for hanging out. Somebody gets a call from his mother, and you observe the way he spoke to his mother. It gives you a hint of what's going on or the kind of relationship.
Okay.
Right? And then are you trying to come in?
Yeah, can we put the brakes on there just for a little bit, because I want us to rewind, right? In the course of the last maybe 5-10 minutes or so, while we've been talking, Benga has chipped in his question and all of that. The word while you're dating and hanging out has come up more than once. And some people are listening intently to this conversation, and they're trying to understand at what point you transition, because you started by defining clearly that dating is pre-relationship, and so we understand that these difficult or not difficult, but these must-have conversations, hard as they may be for some people, are conversations that should come when you are done with the dating stage and you've decided, this is somebody that I think I can maybe take to the next level. And so I'm sitting here thinking, have you asked this person out before you start to ask these kinds of questions? Like, what was the transition like? Because I keep hearing dating and hanging out, and it's not like somebody that you're in a relationship you will not date. Because me, in my head, the way you've defined it, I'm like, okay, so it's okay, let's even take it from Benga's angle. So you're friends first, then you date to get a feel of the person, to know if you can get into a relationship with the person. And then after that, you then decide, okay, I want to get into a relationship, of which at that point you start to court the person. That's my understanding of this. So because you've defined it that way, when I hear, oh, okay, well, you're asking these questions and it's giving you're asking them on a date or you're asking them on a hangout. To me, it's like you are still back in pre-relationship stage. It's like it's a simple stage. I don't know if it's me overanalyzing this, but I mean, you took your time to define. So I want us to make it clear, the transition. So you have asked this person out and you're not asking them these questions, which we have been talking about in the last 5 or 10 minutes or so. Is that am I correct with that?
So let me take it back a bit.
Okay.
If you recall, I said immediately you start having interest in anyone, these conversations can start coming up.
So whether you're dating or
So don't be too legalistic in drawing the line that defense is from here to here.
Okay.
From here to here. Do you understand?
Okay.
Just understand the concept.
Okay.
All right.
I think I was being legalistic.
Exactly.
Okay. So because for me, there's some conversations that I would not have with certain people who, let me use the term of these days. I'm in the talking stages with, even though for some people it means different things. But if you say talking stage, it means it means it's just the initial. We have not gotten heavy yet. On conversation.
But you know what? This is where a lot of people get it wrong. You know that you are getting into this talking stage for a relationship, for a potential relationship. And then you are shying away from having relationship conversations. People say things like, won't it make it look like I'm too desperate? Are you joking? Are you a child? What do you think you're doing?
So it's okay. Again, we're using this talking stage. I don't know what talking stage is now, going back in which of your definitions that talking stage fits into. But for example, you're going into talking stage and you're asking, I don't know, let me look for that one. What was that one again? If I quarrel with you, who can I report you to?
Yeah, it's okay with talking stage.
Because
listen. So let me now show you what makes a relationship a relationship.
Okay.
It's commitment.
You have committed to that person.
Yes, it's commitment. We're exclusive. Do you understand?
Exclusivity.
I'm not at this point, I'm not with you. I'm still entertaining talks from A, B, C, D. No. At the point where I say to myself that, okay, yeah, I've spoken to a lot of people and I think I like this one. I'm now streamlining to this person and I'm making a commitment to you, right? I want to marry you. It's a commitment. I've selected you.
Okay.
That is where it is now courtship, because the purpose is we are getting prepared for marriage.
Okay, let's take a break right there. We'll come back very quickly. It's less than a minute or so, and then we'll bring the conversation to a close for today. I feel like we haven't even scratched it, but we'll come back.
The rhythm of the new Goldberg Black, a symphony of ingredients to savor dark
Apologize, a bit of a technical issue with the Facebook stream, but on YouTube we're streaming, even though it might end soon. Our Coach M will still be with us for a little bit. You'll still be able to hear his voice, so make sure you stay with the conversation so that you join us as we wrap it up in in a nice little bow for the evening. Clearly, we're going to have to come back and continue this segment. Also, remember that the phone lines are open. You can ask your questions. You can raise your concerns. If you disagree with anything we've said so far, you can also bring it up. Let's have a conversation about it. What are your thoughts? We are talking about for how people are able to assess if they're truly ready for commitment and the kind of questions you can ask. Let's take this call. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Esther.
Welcome, Esther. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for the education, for the knowledge.
Thank you, Esther.
Today's one really hit me so hard. The definition of Coach Amazing was so big today.
Thanks for letting us know, Esther. All right, go ahead.
But thank God for more explanation. We are getting more knowledge and more understanding to it.
Okay.
More grace, and we're learning a lot.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you to Coach Amazing. Thank you to you. Thank you for everybody. We're learning a lot, especially me. I'm learning a lot, and we're saying thank you.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Esther, for sharing. Thank you for letting us know that it is resonating with you. Okay. The phone lines are still open, people. Ask your questions. Coach Mayzy has brought a table forward, broken it, put it back together. And we're still getting to learn a little bit more. I feel like we have barely scratched the surface on this conversation because I personally thought that there was like a list, But I like the way you started out by letting us know that, okay, first category, ask questions that are of value to you. Let's see if someone else has a thought on it. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Oh dear, please call me back. Please call me back, okay? I'm sure I would very much like to hear from you. Let's see, on Facebook, Ozo Francis Omaga Namani let us know that he is watching live from Amagunze in Enugu State. Says, good evening, Somi and Coach M. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ozo Francis. All right, on WhatsApp here. Okay, WhatsApp is quiet for now. So let's come back and... oh, no, it's not quiet. I expected that there would be some questions. Let's see. Good evening. I love what Coach said about knowing the type of woman you should not get married to. I totally agree with him 101%. One can tell even from the first day what type of woman you are meeting just by observation, what she says and how she behaves. The signs are always there to see. It's just that people do not pay attention. For me, I can know what type of woman I am meeting from the first 30 minutes to 1 hour. It should be that easy if you want to know. There are certain kinds of women I will have nothing to do with if they are the last set of women on earth. It's okay. Did you send me your name? Oh, this is gender. All right, thank you for letting us know, gender. I have a question here. Good evening, Somi Benga and the coach. I want to ask if both parties have reached the conclusion that they are ready for marriage, is it right for sexual relations to come in? Says the reason I'm asking this question is that I heard of a couple who abstained from sex until the wedding night, only for the guy to discover that the woman has, is it vaginal cancer? So how do you avoid things like this if you abstain from sex? Christy with the question. Over to you, Coach.
Okay, thank you very much, our callers and those who sent in messages. Yeah, so among the things that you're supposed to talk about is also matters of sex. Because don't play. You're adults. Again, remember, you're going to be doing this thing a lot, right? So you want to talk about it. You want to talk about what your disposition to sex is, what your psychology of sex is, what you think about it, how frequently, what is right or wrong about it. If you have had experiences, you also want to let your partner know, hey, I've been there before, I've not been there before, I don't know what to expect. Your level of awareness of your body, you want to talk about this. It's just important. Now, the situation you're talking about, if it's a medical one, then there is a medical solution for it. So if you get there and you find that out, you go about it the medical way, and then you find help. You get it? But trying to say, I want to find out certain things with sex, is just a trick that, let me say, the devil has sold, sold to the minds of young people to think you must check out certain things. Why am I saying this? Are you saying that if every other thing is good with this person, but the first sex you guys have doesn't seem to be so impressive?
No, Coach. Ha ha ha. Let's bring you back up. Okay, Coach M is responding to a question brought forward by Christy. Yeah? And Christy had asked the question. She said, let's see. Let's get it. She says, for people who have decided, that they are ready for marriage, is it right for sexual relations to come in at that point? That's her question, and Coach was responding to that. Coach, are you with us?
Oh, yes, I am.
All right, then go ahead, please.
All right, so I was saying that what both of you want to focus on is that you have same values in this respect when it has to do with sex. But let me ask you again. You're going to get married very soon, and you're going to have the rest of your life to have this sex. Why is it much of a big deal that you want to start doing it now? Why?
Well, it may not necessarily be that it was a big deal. I think for her, it's like, okay, this is like the next natural progression. And so is this right or wrong? Not that, it's a deal breaker.
So the reason I'm not saying a right or wrong is because I don't know what you believe. I don't know if you understand. I could give you my recommendations, all right, which is advised by my faith, especially, right, and then the possible consequences of being sexually involved pre-marriage, all right. But my position is there is no need experimenting that. If you have made a commitment to each other to get married, then please wait till you are married and enjoy this thing with full freedom.
I want to speak to this case though.
Simple answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Christy, on that, he says, it depends on your values. It depends on your beliefs and all of that. This is his recommendation based on his faith. But I want to speak to the issue of the example she gave. First and foremost, how did this woman not know that she had this particular issue, and why didn't it come up in conversation before?
Conversations, yeah.
Yes, so that's another thing, and that takes us back to what we're talking about in terms of questions that must be had. And sometimes it's beyond questions. I think there are certain tests that one can conduct, especially maybe if the goal for you is, because I've heard people say the reason why we need to be sexually active is so that I can ascertain that you can have a baby. And so I think if conversations do come up in between two people who are of similar value or value system, or if conversations do come up, between two people who are self-aware, then it allows for, when it gets to talk about sex, it allows for us to say, okay, this is a concern that I have that might make me want to engage in sexual activity beforehand. Is there any way one can verify these things? For example, if our values demand or call for us to abstain, right? And so if this is the situation, you can have a conversation and then you can go ahead to conduct whatever tests are necessary to conduct. I know that there are institutions, religious institutions and bodies that mandate certain tests to be done. I'm not quite sure. I don't have the laydown of what those tests are, but you can go the extra mile and say, okay, how can we test? I've had my doctor on Thursday, though, speak, especially when it comes to matters of fertility, for people who want to ascertain that their partners can get pregnant. Yeah. My doctor has said, my guest doctor on the show on Thursday says, the true test or the absolute test that gives you an absolute confirmation as to one's fertility is sexual intercourse. And so...
Does it?
Yeah, sorry again?
Yeah, so that's it. That's right.
That's it,
the
right?
real test.
Okay, so if for example, people who are engaging in this thing, they've had the conversation around sex and their values align. This is for people whose values align. If your values differ, you might be having a different conversation altogether. But if your values align, and it's important for people to know these things, that when I do get to that point where we're on the marriage bed and I'm sexually active, everything that should follow from that should follow. The baby should follow. The sexual pleasure should follow. Everything else that comes with this act should follow. So there are certain things that you can test, right? And there are things that you cannot know for certain until you engage in the activity. So your take on this, coach, is that just concentrate on values and leave the rest until you get to the marriage bed, or conduct the necessary tests that need to be done. Of course, if the absolute, what they call it now, knowledge of whether this person can deliver or is fertile is the sex, then there's some things you might just have to sacrifice and wait for till that point. Yes?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So, yeah, I agree with you about doing the necessary tests. That's why these tests are there. Actually, that's why they're there. All right. So if this thing is so important to you, then go find it out medically. Do you understand? Many people just want to have sex and look for any reason to justify it. That's what's happening. If the real question is you want to find out this or that about your reproductive system, you can find it out from your gynecologist. Go to the hospital and have an appointment with the doctor. All right, they will check you and give you to whatever levels of certainty, right? But you can find that out medically.
Okay.
The point is, you are going to be married to this person, right? And so far, you guys seem to align in several other ways. I want to say this thing. A lot of people miss it. You are stepping into marriage as an adventure. You don't know the future. While you are testing, everything can be good now, and tomorrow things change. It's an adventure. The religious word is by faith. You don't know what it holds, but you're just going trusting. Do you understand what I'm saying? So some people think that they must figure out everything to the T. You're playing. You cannot do that. That's why I like what Benga said earlier, when it was like, there's some questions you're asking someone and they cannot answer it now.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they can even tell you straight up, no, I don't have any business. I don't have any interest in business, so I'm a career person. Just give them the next 3 years. And then you see this person talking entrepreneurship. Do you understand? Things can change.
Okay.
That's why I said, yeah. So as you're speaking with people, as you ask questions, it's not just about the black and white answers. You're looking out for the energy coming from them. You're looking out for the level of seriousness. You're looking out for what speaks to your heart as conviction. Do you understand? You're looking for, so you're not saying necessarily you have to be in this career, but you're looking for somebody who is smart, who has a personal ambition, who wants to grow. Today it can be banking, tomorrow it can be oil and gas, next week it can be agriculture, and then the other time is transportation. But what's happening? He's making steady progress in his life, and you are carried along with it.
I think there's a word for what you just described, Coach, which I found out from experience and also from a number of people to not necessarily be a good thing to use. This thing that you just described, in another word, will you call it prospect?
Yeah, prospect. So what we say about prospect is,
please clarify.
Don't just look for prospects. Check out patterns. All right. Oh yes, the patterns will be the true revealer if those prospects you see stand a chance or not, or they're just wishes.
I see.
Do you get it? So check out patterns. Check out the quality of their decisions over time. You are discussing all of these great things, and all the people you hang around are okay, let me use polite words, are not people that look like they want to make progress in their personal life. And you are there speaking all of these high-sounding things. How do you justify that your closest friends are people who are lazy, laid back, indolent, have no plans whatsoever? All they want to do is drink, and attend events. and you say, yeah, you're talking big dreams. Can't you see that there's a disconnect? It doesn't quite correlate, because somebody who has such great dreams would want to hang around a mentor or other colleagues who are also driven and have great plans. And, those are the kind of people you want to see around them. So you meet somebody is sounding like he has a very great future. But what you can see from his everyday decision, the person sleeps for like 10 to 12 hours every day, such a lousy sleeper, and you say you have dreams to fulfill as a young man. Then you wake up, there is nothing on your plate. By plate, I mean there's nothing productive preoccupying you. You spend all your time watching movies, and it's not like you're a movie producer or a script writer. You just want to relax and enjoy. You know what the Bible says about that? It says a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a bandit.
Okay.
Why? Because from the pattern, you see that even though this person is talking high sounding, but their everyday decisions does not add up to the kind of future they're describing. So it's not just about prospects, but more about the patterns in this person's everyday life. How do they take their decisions? What are their priorities?
Okay.
You can't say you want to be a successful businessman and you are not learning anything about business. You're not hanging around. What kind of movies are you watching? What kind of people are you talking to? What kind of books are you reading? You see, it's not just in the wish. It's in the actions. So patterns, not just prospects.
So prospects working alongside with patterns. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah. Our time is fast spent. It's 11:14 p.m. right now. So we need to wrap it up. I just want to leave the next 4 minutes to the listeners. Let's get their interactions. If anybody wants to call in and ask Coach M a question, let's do that to wrap up the conversation. I'll also take your messages. I have a voice note here. I'm going to play that very quickly, and then we will take any other messages and wrap it up. Just in case you are just joining us, we have been talking about the conversation around commitment, and we're asking, are you really ready? Well, Coach is bringing up scenarios that will make you think, are you really ready? And we're supposed to get into the kinds of conversations you're supposed to have. He has explained at what stage you're supposed to have those conversations, and we have touched on a little bit of it. I think we'll have to come back next week to wrap it up. My biggest takeaway from this so far is, as opposed to having a list, because I was getting to the point where I was like, okay, this is my list. This is when I'll ask it. This is this. This is that. But he said the conversations that you will ask are ongoing. They might start at what we call the talking stage now, what people call the talking stage, and then it will continue to build and develop depending on how much your level of interest in this person continues to build and increase. So I know we've harped a little bit on issues around sexual compatibility and values and all of that, but there's more to the conversation than that. Coach said, what are your values? What are the things that guide your values, your morals, and all of that? If you understand what those things are, then that also should form part of the conversation that you should have with this person. Let's take the voice note, a message, and then we'll wrap it up.
SWAT.
Okay, this is not wrong one. Forgive me.
Hello, SWAT.
Swatke.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Nigeria.
Okay. I saw the message came in at 11 p.m. So I thought that was for us. It's not. So let's quickly take the message and then we will move on. I believe I saw one here from Dozie. It says, hi, Somi. Happy New Week. I can't see you guys on YouTube. Why? Well, Dozie, the stream ended about 11. That's why. He says, I thought that the essence of dating is getting to know your partners well, especially the sexual compatibility, because that's the essence of partnership and marriage. No lady in her true mind should come at Dozie telling me that for one reason or the other, we are to abstain till marriage. I will ask her, is she okay? Even God will ask me if I'm a coconut head to buy that hocus pocus. With due respect to your guest, he shouldn't sell us that lie, no, because for me, a right-thinking, hard-working metropolitan male, it will absolutely hold no water. All right, that's the message from Dozier, and I'll just let Coach respond to that if you want to, Coach, and then we'll wrap it up.
I hardly respond to people's convictions and opinions. So, to each man his own.
Yeah, that's why I said if you want
but
to.
I mean, yeah. He just told us what he really stands for, and I'm not here to debate that. It's what it is. He's aware.
Those are his values. Yes,
he's aware. Exactly. He's aware of exactly what he wants, and then it's up to her to say, "I also want this," or "I don't agree with it."
Okay.
Yeah, so it's completely fine. Yeah.
So we leave it at that. But he asked something though, which I expect that you should respond to. He says,
"Please bring it up."
Sexual compatibility is also key because that's the essence. He phrased it as a question, so I'm going to read it as. He says, "I thought that the essence of dating is getting to know your partners well, especially sexual compatibility, because isn't that the essence of partnership and marriage?" Sexual compatibility.
No, that's not the essence.
As the essence of partnership.
No, that's not the essence.
What is the essence of partnership and marriage?
It's beyond that. It's vision. It's the future. It's companionship. All right. Sexual involvement or compatibility is a part of it, but it's not all that it is.
So when you say vision, I believe you're a man of the faith. So I want to come to you from the point of the faith as well. Maybe sexual compatibility might I don't know if I will use the term sexual compatibility, but wasn't the point of man and woman from the point of your faith to come together and procreate and have dominion and rule? So sex is key. You should be able to determine that. Not that you should be able to determine. The essence of marriage should be that you should be able to have sex and procreate. So, why would you say that is not the essence?
Yes, because so let's put it this way: do you get married because all I want to do now is have sex? Is that all that there is to getting married?
So I went beyond the sex and I used the term procreate. So the goal, the means to procreation.
Funny enough,
is sex.
Yes, funny enough.
So that should be the essence, isn't it?
So procreation also is not the only reason you get married, or it's not necessarily the ultimate reason you get married.
Okay.
It's a consequence of being married. Do you understand? It's a natural consequence of being married. If you get married, you're having sex, you should have children. Do you understand? But you don't get married because ultimately my purpose in this life is to come and have children.
Some grandmothers will disagree with you.
Of course,
some grandmothers will disagree with you because I want to carry my grandchildren.
Don't worry. Yeah, I mean, I desire that for them too. I am saying that the essence of, follow me closely. Okay. I'm streaming down to purpose and vision. You are not here as a human being just so that you can born Pekin and then the essence of your life is done. Do you get what I'm saying? That is where I'm going. There has to be something more about your life. All of these other things are very important consequences, right? Mm-hmm. But what are you living for? What are you pursuing as a person? That is more important than just sex. You can have sex with just any female that, as a guy, that catches your fancy. But you cannot get married to just any female. Why? Because you are going somewhere. This is very important that you understand. I have a vision. I have something I'm pursuing in my life. I need somebody with whom we can do this together. You see, clearly, the person that said that, Mr. Dozie, who made that comment, he's still single. He will soon get married. When he does, he will let us know whether he has sex every day of his marriage, since that is the essence of marriage. You will discover very shockingly. A lot of couples have to schedule for sex. I'm telling you, as sweet as it is, you have to schedule for it. If not, you are preoccupied by life.
No spontaneity. That's boring.
Yeah, that's spontaneity.
What will now make us come back to that myth and fact.
That spontaneity sometimes is scheduled. That's what I'm telling you.
Wow.
You schedule the spontaneity. Yes.
Okay.
Let me not discourage people. I don't want to make anybody fear, but I'm just playing the real scenarios. And a lot of people, singles, have this thing in their mind. Oh, sex. Oh, it's all about. It's not anything about sex. So, in fact, you can have very hot, sizzling sex with a lady and discover that when it's time to talk about life together, he has nothing to offer you except a body. You are the same person who will drive that girl out of your house. Because now you need somebody with whom you can carry the weight of life together, with whom you can carry the weight of your visions together, with whom you can raise the kind of children you desire to raise together. All right? And then now, you guys can have very good sex, but she cannot fit in any of these other parts. Do you think it's only sex you'll be having in your house?
Okay, coach.
If it is. So that matter is not in any way the most important thing at all. But some people will find out later, sir.
So here's what I say to
ahead.
that. You started the conversation by saying all these things are tied to a caveat. It's a question of self-awareness. So it's possible that you have people who are in a relationship with each other and go on to get married, but their level of self-awareness is still developing. And so it evolves for them. So say the sex was the clincher and it's what made them come together. If they're able to stay in that process of continuous self-development and self-awareness, while still agreeing to be committed to their spouses, then I think that it is something that they will evolve in and they will grow from over time. And so, yes, the sex, I am of the opinion that it's more of an icing on the cake thing as opposed to a side dish. I don't think it's a side. I think it's an icing on the cake thing, because I've been in rooms where marriage counselors are speaking, and when you ask them three of the most important things in a marriage, sex is always on that list, alongside
definitely very important.
Alongside money and commitment.
Definitely.
So it's important. It is important. The question is, what are the values? First of all, how self-aware are you? I'm going back to how you started. How self-aware are you as an individual? And then the second point would be, what are the values that bring you and this person together, that allows you to have these conversations around around things like everything from, we've harped on sex today, and that's why I say we have to come back next week, because we need to talk about some other important things. All right. So this is to say that it all comes down to the individuals involved at the end of the day, and how self-aware they are.
That's right.
And how intentional they are about what they are doing in that relationship and marriage if they get to that point. I think we can wrap the conversation up here today. Thank you so much, Coach M.
You've done a good job with summary.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And remember, people, if you still didn't get enough clarity on this, we're coming back next week. It's possible that you might want to discuss your own specific situation. You can join in on the conversation next week, or send me an email at somi@nigeriainfo.fm. Okay, somi@nigeriainfo.fm, so that we can also use that to answer your specific area. It is must have conversations before you commit. That will help you answer the question, are you really ready for commitment? Have a lovely evening, Coach M. My regards to the family.
Thank you very much. And you too.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, sir.
This is Nigeria Info.